Hi there and welcome back to Wizardry 8. This is going to be a guided playthrough where we go step by step through all the game mechanics, through all the game quests, through everything, and we'll make a party together that will be very well suited for the game on the highest difficulty. But also on the lower difficulties, of course, it works just fine. The goal of this is to show you all the mechanics, all the gadgets you can build, all the instruments you can find, all the quests you can make. Step by step by step, we'll go through it all, from combat tactics to everything. And of course, everything starts with a great party. And we're going to build a great party. It's maybe not the most noob-friendly party, the most newbie-friendly party, but it's the party that will show you all the mechanics that are relevant to the game. And so we're going to start one of the complicated classes, which is the Bishop. It's an interesting class, can be very powerful in your hands, and we're going to play an Elf Bishop. Elves have relatively okay vitality, so we'll give them that, and high intelligence and piety already, so we get a lot of points already that we can use in here. And we can also get to a little bit of speed, which helps out with initiative and which helps out with getting your spells earlier out in combat. So we'll go for a male elf. There will be a lot of females, so we'll go at least for a male bishop, because it's a big advantage at the start to have female characters for some kind of reasons that will show you. So the most important schools for a bishop at the start. As a bishop, you have all the magic schools available to you. And you train them best by going for a spell that is exclusively for a school. As you can see here, there's this spellbook Alchemist. So that's the school. So you either have Alchemist or other things, but you also have something like this Priest Psionic. So that's in the spellbook for the priest and the psionic. The bishop has access to all the spellbooks, but to train a specific spellbook, you want to go for a specific spell, which is what we're going to do. The most important ones for the bishop in this party, and for the bishop in general, and for you in general, are Wizardry and Divine Magic. That is in the priest spellbook, and it's also in the wizard spellbook, so in the mage spellbook. As you can see here, we want something with spellbook mage, and we will also want something with spellbook priest at the start. That's going to be great, and so we're going to go for make wounds, and we can choose if we want energy blast or if we want frost. I mean, there's a lot to say about energy blast, so fire is a pretty powerful magic at the start, and make wounds. Why do I choose make wounds instead of healing? You just don't find make wounds very early on, and we have other members of the party that will be able to heal. We'll just want this guy to be a little bit offensive at the start. So he has also the great skill of artifacts. Artifacts helps you identify items, and primary skills receive a 25% bonus on top of their current value if they're blue, as you can see here. Controlling attribute is intelligent and senses, and yeah, we're just going to use that just for the sake of showing you items early on. For an expert player, you don't usually invest anything into artifacts, but I'm going to do it so I can show you pretty quickly what is relevant and what is not. And we want to start well with Wizardry and Divinity. And we can give ourselves a little bit of a starting help with the Divine Magic that we have chosen, with Make Wounds, and with the Fire Magic that we have chosen for the Fire spell. You can see here, Energy Blast. We don't really need weapon skills, it's not needed, and the other skills here will be taken care of by our other members. So we're going to choose a nice portrait. Let's see. who we're gonna be. So this is gonna be maybe the leader of the group, Emmanuel Khan. Emmanuel. Or maybe he's a captain. Why not Captain Khan? Oh. Let's go for Emmanuel, right? What a great name.
I believe there is something unseen in all things seen. It is that which I attempt to reveal, you see?
Then you choose a voice. A voice is pretty cool always. So go for something that you like.
You're going to need someone of my superior intelligence. Some call it ego, but I call it talent.
Right, we need great talent, so here we go. First one is going to be Emmanuel. Note that there's an order here to creating the party. And the game is turn-based combat, if you choose to do that. And after moving, they will attack in the order that they are presented here. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. So it's pretty important, at least for the start of the game, to have your magic users and most especially combat buffers in the first slots here. So we're going to do that. We want another character, and we're going to take a bard. Bard is maybe not the most obvious choice, but it's a character that gives you a lot of quality of life skills, and that is really what we want here. For the bard, we're going to go for the Mook. Mook is a pretty good race, especially for their resistances, as you can see here. And they're also pretty huge and can dish out a lot of damage if they want to. They're pretty tough and they have a lot of bonus points, as you can see here. We're going to take female because there is a lot of amulets and stuff at the start that help female characters regenerate their stamina. And the bard is basically a stamina caster and also an okay melee or ranged combatant, depending on how you build them. So definitely going to choose female first. And we want a toughie, so it's vitality and strength. It will also help us carry a lot, but it also increases the stamina we have, and with the stamina we cast, so it's a pretty good deal. We want a little bit to the 40 with speed, and the rest will go into dexterity to hit things better. And we have a lot of skills, as you can see here. Of course, the prime skill for the bard is music. Then we also want our bard to be able to unlock locks and to disarm traps, so we're going to go for that. Bard will also be our communicator, affecting the prices and the NPC's opinion and the willingness to talk. So we'll have very good prices if we have high communication in the shops, so that's going to be a big help. We're not going to use pickpocket. Yeah, you can get some things with pickpocket, but it's really not necessary and usually brings you only trouble if you use that. And we're going to just call her AC/DC. How would she be sounding as AC/DC?
There will be many implements.
Nah, that's too slow.
You got it. I'm ready for anything, and I mean anything.
Anything.
Let's get moving then. We don't have much time.
Yeah, that's that. Let's gotta go for AC/DC. Then we want someone who can create the cool little gadgets that you find all around there. You find little parts and stuff, and you can make these into gadgets, and these gadgets can do a lot of things that magic also can do, but also more a little bit. So we want the classic gnome Gadgeteer, and female one in that case. For the reason that also the Gadgeteer uses its stamina to cast. So his or her stamina. We're gonna go... now the thing is, we want the Gadgeteer also to be a combatant, a ranged DPS combatant. And so we're not going to need vitality too much, but what we're going to need is senses and dexterity. A little bit of speed. I mean, it's usually good to bring it to at least to 40. And same with strength. It's usually good if you have a somewhat physical-based character to bring it up to the full values here. So we're going to go for that. And then we're going to go for senses, because that unlocks some special skills at the end. And for some dexterity. And later on we'll also focus on vitality. That's just the start. Give you a good start. You can see the gnome has a lot of advantages. For example, mental resistance. And that's really something great. Because it will help you if the opponents try to take over your characters too much. So we're going to go for modern weapon, which is the weapon he gets with himself. He gets a special gun, and that gun will be improved by modern weapon skill and by the level of the Gadgeteer. We're going to go for engineering, which is the second skill that you use to make and to use the gadgets. And then we're going to go for ranged combat, because that's the combat that we'll use with his special gun that he, or in that case she, will have. Let's go. So she'll be our dark savant. We'll just call her Savvy. Let's see.
If you're looking for someone to protect your interests, I'm the one. I have excellent credentials.
Maybe that's a little bit too brutal. Let's see. We want something excellent. Laid back. Loner? Nah. Not really burly, right? Maybe that.
No one slips anything past me. You sign me up and I'll get you through anything. Trust me.
Wonderful. Savvy Gadgeteer. Also a homage to my my great administrator of the Discord channel. You can find the Discord channel in the description below. He's calling himself Dark Savant, and he's very savvy in these tasks. Like creating the Discord channel was what he really did well and great for the channel. He's also a long-time supporter, and he loves Wizardry 8, so savvy is gonna be his character. We're gonna go for another character that is a lot based also on utility, but also just a great ranged DPS. A ranger has the special ability to search all the time. Usually you have to activate search, but then enemies can surprise you. If you have a ranger, you won't be surprised. The ranger just searches all the time. That's incredibly useful. And so I like to have rangers with me. I'm going to go for a Felper, that's Cat Race Ranger. Also with, as you can see here, it's a pattern. High mental resistance. In that case we can make a male ranger. And we want to really concentrate our ranger on range DPS as well. So we're going to go for senses and dexterity. That's something very good. Strength also helps out with that, so we're also going to go for strength. As you can see, we want some scouting. That helps with searching. And then we also want, in this run, mythology, which helps us identify the true identities of monsters and their characteristics. For example, resistances. So, and hit points. Things like that. Very important things. So, and we're going to go for bow. A little bit of bow and a little bit of ranged combat, just to balance it out. This nice tiger picture, which I really like. I'm gonna call him Geronimo.
There are two kinds of people, hunters and their prey. Let me assure you, I am one of the hunters.
And he is one of the hunters. Wonderful. Then we're going to go for another rather legendary character in the Wizardry 8 game. It's something very interesting. It's a ninja, and it's a fairy ninja. Fairies are little winged creatures. They are looking like a little butterfly. And they cannot use really armor and things like that. But they are not that bad as ninjas, because ninjas also don't use much of armor. They are a little bit flimsy, but they have high potential. In that case, if you choose only a female fairy ninja, you have access to the best weapon in the game. It's a one-handed staff called the Cane of Corpus. And it's incredibly good. And we're just going to go and we'll show you how to get that thing. So how are we going to skill our great ninja? Now, we want to go for close combat, so we're going to go for strength. And we're going to go for dexterity for our ninja. Additional things, as you can see, we have a lot of abilities and traits for that, and a lot of great resistance modifiers, but really not many hit points as a fairy. You have also thrown criticals, so you can throw like ninja stars or something like that, and these will do more damage because they do auto-penetrate the armor that the opponents have. So there's a lot to love about the ninja class. It's a late bloomer, but together with the Cane of Corpus, it's an exceptional thing to have. So we're going to go for that super special thing. So what we really want to specialize in is close combat, and maybe even dual weapons, because the staff that we get is a one-handed staff. So we're going to go dual weapons. And if you want to get your skills up for a special combat thing, you should see which skills do I need for the combat that I want to have, and like level them all around equally, because they will also gain from use. And so it's a very good idea to balance that out. So if you want something like staff and wand, that's what we want. And we will maybe want to like dual wield staff and wand, then it's very advantageous to go for dual weapons and staff and wand very early on. And then later on we can see what else we'll do. So we can distribute the rest into these skills, like close combat and critical strike are also pretty important for what we want to do. And so I'm going to level them all at once, all at the same time. Later on we won't have much time for that, because we will also get spells, as you can see here, alchemy, and that will be pretty useful too, for some utility, for brewing potions and for healing. So that's what we're going to do with the ninja. And we're going to look out for the fairies, as you can see here. I have a great fairy ninja, called her Jinx. And that's really what I like.
Release your hold on this world. All things change or perish. This is the great enlightenment.
The Great Enlightenment. So it will take. And then we're going to go for the final character. Very, very solid choice, as you will see. Which will be a fighter. Fighter is one of the real classics. And there's a lot of good choices. You can also look at that in what I've linked in the description. I have made a party guide. So if you Want to go for a special party, you can look up everything there. First, I have a party guide overview. So what needs to be in a party? What helps you in a party? How is the normal composition of a party? And then I have guides for you for in that playlist for every class out there in Wizardry 8 and how you can play it. Even different guides for different ways to play that class. So if you're looking into things like that, I can recommend that to you as well. But this will also hold very well. So we're going to go for a Dragon Fighter female because stamina regeneration is what we really want. And as you can see, we get 60 bonus points. We have a slight disadvantage here in mental resistance, which is really not a big deal. But if you go for Wizardman, 10 minus 10 is already a little bit a big deal. So we're going to go for Dragon. That has also the ability to breathe acid with your stamina points. So it's a kind of casting and a kind of doing area damage quite early on as well. What does a fighter need? Fighter needs the classic attributes of strength, dexterity, vitality. And the rest is also kind of good. Like senses, speed also kind of helps. But we're going to go first for strength and for dexterity. And we'll just put the rest into vitality. So we have a really, really tough one. We can really rely on. What are we looking to go for? In general, we want the fighter to have close combat. And now there's the specialty here. You can see sword and axe is at the same skill. And depending which is higher, influences your starting equipment. We want, as a starting equipment, we want a sword. So we give that 1 point and then we'll get a sword. If you go for this, it's random. If you go like that, you get a starting axe. We want a starting sword. And a shield would also be nice. And maybe we'll also go a little bit into ranged combat. Something bow-like will also help us. And we want to get into that early. And because we won't have like a real range, a pole arm or a spear or something, it's really useful to train that also early on. We don't have the best bonuses for it with the senses and stuff, but practice does a lot in this game. Looking majestic, the dragon. Let's call her Echidna. Let's see. Let's see. How about that?
There will be many implements of destruction at my disposal.
Destruction. Yeah, we want some destruction. Let's review. Yeah, that's going to be a good choice. So, let's start our game together and do the necessary first steps to have a functional party. Don't want an Iron Man game, as Wizardry 8 has still some bugs that can leave you stranded somewhere without recovery. So definitely want the ability to save and load. Simplified NPC interaction is just clicking on them and things like that, and using a menu. So Expert is the highest difficulty level, and we're gonna go for that.
Grimpak the Mook hired you as an escort for a long voyage. He didn't say a word about where he was going or how long it would take. You were astonished to see such a huge metal ship. Grimpak must be a very great wizard to make such a thing sail. As soon as you entered, the ship set sail. That metal ship went straight up, making a sound like 1,000 angry dragons. For a long time, you sailed through the endless night. Then, at last, Grimpack broke his long silence.
The time has come to tell you the purpose of my trip. My fellow Mook have discovered an extremely unusual artifact. This has led them to a world called Dominus, where they are investigating a native ritual called the Ascension. They have asked me to assist, but there is some danger involved, so I have brought you along as protection. We will be landing shortly. Our descent may be a bit difficult.
As you begin your descent, your craft comes under the baleful watch of the Dark Savant and his black ship.
Master, we have detected a ship.
I arrived too late to stop the others, but these intruders will never enter the circle!
What should I do?
Destroy them!
The shock of the attack throws you to the deck. For a time, all is dark. Slowly, your senses return. You have washed up on a beach among the rest of the crash debris. It's a miracle that you're still alive, but your biggest challenge is still ahead of you. Your ship is gone. You're stranded on a strange world, and somewhere, far above, the Dark Savant awaits. You turn toward shore and plan your next move.
What are we gonna do? We're stuck on this godforsaken beach. But we're smart. We'll figure something out. I'm sure of it.
So here we are, stranded on a strange beach. And the first thing you'll do is usually change the video a bit and set the brightness a little higher. So you can actually see things. That looks a little better. Then you have already some creatures wandering to you. So go to the side a bit so I can show you things. There's a little bit of treasure here that is left here. And that is the combat crosshair, the party formation. You want to make this so that your weak characters are protected and that your strong characters are at the front. Who are the strong characters? You can easily identify them by looking at the hit points, for example. So you can see that the fighter is by far the strongest. Then you have the ranger, the bard, the ninja. They're pretty okay. I mean, then comes the gadgeteer, and weakest is, of course, the multicaster, the bishop. Very powerful, but yeah, easily breakable if you're not careful. So how do we order it? We'll get the bishop to the back line, where he's relatively well protected if you kind of hug the wall with the vulnerable characters. To the sides, we'll sort, to the side of him, we'll sort the characters that are also based on ranged. So we'll go for the ranger, who can go, well, just like here. And at the other side, we want someone else who's based on ranged, which is the gadgeteer.
You bellowed?
So we have the gadgeteer here, we have the bishop here, and we have the ranger here. Bishop is very well protected. Whom do we want at the sides and at the middle? Now, here at the front, we want no one. If there's someone alone out there, he or she will be the lone tank, which is not a good idea to be there. I mean, there are some formations where you can use this, but it's really, I wouldn't recommend it.
Of course.
So first we'll do the fighter, and we'll put the fighter here to the side, because usually at the side you have more attackers on you. Every monster that is in the center to the party and to the right to the party will mostly attack the right side of the party. So you want at the sides the toughest ones out there. So fighter, one of these examples, will go to the right.
You have summoned
The
me.
ninja doesn't have that many hit points, but has defensive skills such as stealth that will help mitigate damage and be ignored. So the ninja will go to the other side, and in the middle we'll have the bard that will also get attacked, but not as often. The bard will also only be usually attacked from the center, but the sides will be attacked from the side and the center. So bard is usually getting attacked by less ones. Still, we will be protecting the bard with our life, so to say. So we're out here stranded on this strange coast, and we'll see what we can take very early on. There's a couple of crabs that we'll soon fight, and it's like really at this point of the game, at the start of the game, when you've set up everything, I really recommend to save. Yeah, I do that. I do that as well. So we find a potion of light heal, a feathered hat, and an upper chainmail. And what you also should do is you should look into everything you have there. That's the bishop. So the bishop is good at identifying, but he cannot identify the upper chainmail so far. So there's that. You want to give the armor to the ones exposed in the front lines and so on. So whom you want to protect most is the bard. Bard doesn't have the greatest protection. As you can see, the bishop has something special here, uncurse all items. So if you have a bishop and you put on an item that is cursed, you'll be able to uncurse it. It's easy. You can try out a lot of things with a bishop. And if you don't have a bishop, you might try on a cursed item and plop, it stays on you. And you need a spell for that to be removed, or you need to buy a scroll to remove that then. So if you don't have a bishop, you should be careful. But we can try that out. You can see the upper chainmail gives us a lot higher armor. So we're going to do that. We're going to take that. That is only a cloth shirt. It has only one armor class, which is very, very low. It's the lowest armor you can get. But this is pretty good. And so we're going to give it to the bard, so the bard holds up a little better for the damage. Then we have the Gadgeteer. The Gadgeteer always starts with the bullet stones that are meant for the Omnigun here. But the bullet stones are in the inventory and not here. That's the ammo slot. Basically, the Omnigun uses the stuff here in the ammo slot to shoot. So it will reload if you put everything in the ammo slot automatically. Then we have a couple of potions. And usually you can distribute them. You should distribute them to the ones most exposed to damage. And they might have something already, as the ninja has something here. The fighter probably doesn't need anything with 22 hit points. But we'll give something to the bard. Of course you can distribute it even more diligently and use everything like that. That would be good. But I don't think it will be necessary for me. You should definitely do it. Like, get you an array of potions here. For example, potion of cure poison. Very important. If you have a character at the front with relatively low resistances, like this Mook, give him also a potion of cure poison, because poison can really screw you up. Then there's potions of stamina. Definitely also something that, in that case, the bard should get, because bard uses a lot of stamina early on with the instruments. And we have potion of cure light condition, curing any of the minor conditions of fear, sleep, blindness, nausea, and irritation. Can be really helpful, and we're also going to give it to the bard. So distribute that diligently. It will help you a lot in combat. Now, we're going to go and attack the crabs. Or rather, the crabs will attack us. Look at that. Now they see us. They become hostile.
Die slowly.
Now we can attack them.
Right then.
They are water-based creatures. So they are usually vulnerable to energy blasts. Fire. So because you start around a lake, it's pretty good to have that fire spell early on. That's another one of the reasons. You can use already the bard poet's lute.
Okay.
Which is the equivalent to a sleep spell for the crabs, so less of them will be able to attack us, which is pretty good.
Okay.
Then we could try to walk to them, but we rather want them to walk to us, and then we can attack them. Thanks to the Ranger, we can see their hit points. If you have low mythology, you will not see the hit points of these things. But usually the bigger model has the higher hit points. So we will first want to focus on some low hit point crabs. So we have, yeah, for example, this crab. It's only 8 hit points, and with a shift left click, we focus on that crab and will be attacked first. Always attack the opponents first, that will die first. As a general rule. I mean, there's some exceptions if there's really dangerous opponents, but as a general rule, it's a good tactic to always attack these first that will die first. I fizzled. Not that experienced, but as you can see, our bard already doing the work. And at the start, when not everyone hits so well, and you have like miss-hits sometimes. We'll try that again with a fire spell. You can see we can attack, everyone can attack. So we'll do that now. Oh, and that's his backfire. That's very dangerous for the bishop. Because that will make something hit himself. Boom. You can see we are pretty damaged already. So we're not going to use a spell again, because if it backfires, it will kill our bishop. So I'm just going to use normal attacks on the crab. And here we go.
We win.
Naturally we win. Some things lying around here, for example here, bullet stones. We give the bullet stones to our Gadgeteer. They usually get sorted in there already, so pretty good stuff. And now you can cross here and take a couple more things, but there is, yeah, there's something hidden here, so you can see more bullet stones. There are a couple of really dangerous crabs out there, a big group of crabs, and we want to ignore these for now. Something else here, as you can see, somewhere here on the radar. See something red. We'll ignore that for now as well. Go in here. And usually, if you close the door at least, yeah, it's important to close doors here. You can rest here pretty safely until you're healed. Because that's the way to heal at the start. Just rest.
I smell the scent of danger here.
And we go through one of the first real fights there, or stronger fights together. Here we go. There's a couple of slimes coming. And they're really tough, as you can see. 18 hit points, 17 hit points, and only 3 hit points.
And so it begins.
We can activate that at the start.
Right then.
So we can more quickly attack here, which is a big advantage. So we're going to do that. Now these slimes, we have the sleep spell with the bard, but these slimes are not really affected by mental spells, which is sleep. So we're not going to attack them with that, and rather have the bard do damage later on. So we're going to wait again by using that method. Just a normal method. Everyone, like nearly everyone does this. So that's the way. We're going to focus the small slime first. So we kill at least one slime first, quickly. Which is usually pretty good, because like the hit points doesn't say anything about how much damage they do. So this 3 hit point slime will do the same damage as the 18 hit point slime. So you should practically quickly attack the green slime, the little one, and get it out of the way. So we're gonna do that. One less. Pretty good. And you see they do pretty good damage. We can go berserk. That will make us hit a little bit less if we want that. But do more damage, but we're not going to do that for now. That's not really good enough for that.
Right then. Right then.
Try the fire spell again. And if we want to take something like a potion of light heal, we could do so, but not yet, probably. So, I'm going to do it like that. At the start, the fairy ninja is pretty bad, but later on, she'll be the most valuable character, really. Here we go. We get attacked. As you can see, the ones on the sides have been attacked, and not the one in the center, like the bard. I'll change the spell because we don't have more spell points for fire.
Right then.
I'll try to make wounds. Here we go. Especially in the mid-game, magic users are very reliable, and also the ranger. So, our first expedition is over. And we're going to continue this very shortly. And we'll go to the first big fight against a high-level monster. At that point, we're level 1. There's a monster that is level 3, and that will fight together. I'll show you how to do it, and how to further go forward and take some treasure. Thank you for watching, and happy gaming to you. We'll see each other soon in the next episode. Have a great time until then. This is Immanuel Khan signing out. See you soon, and happy gaming. Wizardry 8. The greatest RPG ever. So fun. So fun. You should try it.